Attorney and legal analyst Rachel Fiset joining us now for more insight. Rachel, thanks for being with us this morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so the FBI didn't issue the subpoena. They executed search warrants at both the superintendent's home and LAUSD headquarters, as we said this morning. So from a legal standpoint, what does this tell us about how serious investigators believe the case is?
This is a very serious move. It's a large move. It obviously has a huge impact as it gets a ton of press when this kind of thing happens. So when there is suspicion of someone, when there is probable cause, you can execute a search warrant so long as a judge approves it with an executed affidavit showing all of the evidence. The other option would be to send his lawyers a subpoena such that he could turn over the documents himself. Often, there are many reasons to execute a search warrant over a subpoena, one of them being you think somebody is going to hide evidence or that they would not cooperate in a subpoena. I don't know if that is the case here. Perhaps the FBI and the DOJ are going for the impact here, but that is one of the reasons, is just simply coming in, grabbing the stuff you want, and not going through a lengthy process is what the search warrant will get the DOJ and the FBI when they send people in.
Well, we know the warrants are sealed, but sources are telling CBS News it's connected to allegations that Carvalho took kickbacks from a private business while superintendent in Miami. What kind of potential crimes are investigators looking for here, and how serious is this?
It's serious when you are a government official and it looks like you can be swayed in some way because you are a government official, you're high ranking. So that would have all kinds of implications relating to fraud. Perhaps there are false claims allegations, depending on how the money was used. But kickbacks as a government agent can be a big deal, and they can happen in a variety of ways, including having knowledge of vendor contracts or receiving some benefit of vendor contracts. They can be as simple sometimes as hiring or recommending the hiring of some sort of LAUSD or Miami vendor that they would then give you some benefit. I've seen Lakers tickets. All kinds of different kinds of benefits can be viewed as kickbacks or alleged kickbacks from the government in situations of high-ranking officials like this.
Interesting. Okay, there has been speculation about whether this could be related to the superintendent's stance on immigration enforcement affecting students. Is that a reasonable connection for the public to draw, or is that just people talking?
Politically speaking, I don't think Carvalho is someone that this administration appreciates relating to his stance on immigration. Also, the Trump administration has just sued LAUSD, alleging that it discriminates against white students. There's a lot going on relating to him as in his position, separate and apart from any alleged crime that he may have committed. So are they targeting him and looking into his background additionally hard based on how they may see his stance on immigration, even if what they're looking at is separate and apart from his immigration? I think it's possible. I mean, this could be selective, or it could be a investigation that's been going on for years, and the timing just seems to fall in line with the point where he is at odds with the administration on other issues.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that too. So if someone is the subject of a federal search like this but hasn't been charged, what are their rights right now? We're standing near his home. Neighbors are saying they really haven't seen him. Mm-hmm. What are we going to be seeing in coming weeks, months? There's supposed to be some board meetings later. Will he go and participate in those, do we think, under this type of pressure, or should he?
I think the board needs to conclude how they're going to view his employment as this goes forward. Will he remain the superintendent? Will he be placed on administrative leave? Will he be back to duties as normal? I think that's something that the board will be needing to decide, and I do believe they're deciding that pretty quickly because they just don't want this kind of distraction when it relates to educating our children. So that's one option. Will they fire him? There's a lot of options on the table. As far as him, he should be laying low as it relates to anything in this investigation, and do not say anything that will, be construed against him should this go to trial. So my hunch is he will be laying low regardless of whether he continues to serve inside of the capacity as superintendent. And then we have to go through, and his lawyers will have to go through all of the search warrant information they can get. Was it properly executed? And the investigation, if they did not know about it, it would start here. If it's been ongoing for years, then this is not a surprise to anyone.
Interesting. But as you said, it is a big distraction and people definitely want more answers. So Rachel, thanks for joining us with your insight.
Thank you.